Hi, everybody. I am Cindy Lewis Caballero, and this is Sandy Orlando. We are your two co-race directors for the 3 running events in the Endurance Event Production series. Our first race is coming up in about 5 weeks, and that's the Georgina Spring Fling Marathon, Half Marathon, 10K, and 5K. And we wanted to talk to you guys today about volunteers and how critical it is that we have the right volunteers and enough volunteers to make race day a success.
We thought we would start off with or taking you through what's involved in getting to a race and where volunteers are needed and why they're so important. A lot of people will talk about a well-organized race and they don't realize that perhaps that it hinges a lot on having the volunteers. So even before race day, with getting race kits assembled, there's an awful lot of product that comes in and trying to sort through all the t-shirts and all the things that go into those race kits. It takes a lot of time and a lot of hauling. So then race kit pickup needs to be organized. You want to just get in there, pick it up, and get out again. And that takes a bit of time to get organized. So having volunteers available for that is really important for us. And then anything to do with getting the race ready on race day, that's super important because we have parking. You want to be able to get your car parked or get on the bus. You need to know where you're going, how many, where the buses are, where they're picking you up, where they're dropping you off. And that takes marshals early in the morning. And so think about it. If your race is starting at 7 o'clock or 7:30, you want to give yourself time to get there and all the rest of it. So you've got marshals who need to be there even before you. So that's it's usually a difficult position to get people to do, but really, really important. So then the site setup as well. All of that happens, everything that happens on race day and that site has to be put in place and set up. So all of the product has to be carried out, all the barriers, all the signs, anything that's going on there. And an awful lot of it happens because of volunteers, not because it's being hired out, because the cost of races is really high. So volunteers are super important for that part of it. Cindy's going to talk about race morning.
Race morning. So I've been to many races as an athlete, and I show up and kind of look around myself and all the excitement and all the stuff that's set up. And I never really thought about what it took to make that happen. Race morning is really important to have a lot of volunteers on hand to help with things from, like Sandy said, parking marshals, making sure that when you arrive as an athlete, someone's there to let you into the VIP lot or direct you where to park at the offsite lots that we have. Bus marshals, people that help you find the bus, help you get on the bus to get to the race start finish line. People who are up bright and early with their laptops, sitting ready to do race day kit pickup. Race day kit pickup can be a great experience or a crazy experience, depending on how many people are there to help make it efficient. Because everyone shows up within a 1 hour or 90-minute span to pick up their numbers on race morning. Bag check is another important part of race morning. So especially if you're parking off site, so you have a place to safely store your bag for your post-race clothes, anything that you're not going to take with you out on the course. And then also something like helping to organize people in the starting chute. So if you've got 1,000 or 2,000 athletes that are lined up ready to start the race, you can imagine that it takes a little bit of work to get everyone lined up at the right time and the right kind of organization and order. So having people there to help people get corralled in that starting chute is important.
Mm-hmm. And also just providing information, because often you'll get there and, oh, where do I go? Where's this? Where's that? And having people who understand where the lay of the land is and what's happening and what time you're starting if you can't hear the race announcer and you're waiting in line for the portlet or something. So that's, information is really important at that point, and communication for everybody. On the course, of course, everybody gets going, and you've got, if you've got a 5K race, that's over in about 15, 20 minutes for, the first athletes are coming back in. So everything has to be prepared and out there, including the aid stations. Those are going out there early in the morning, in the dark, generally, setting up the tables, getting all the product out there, getting the volunteers out there and getting them ready so that when those first athletes come through, those aid stations are ready. And as well as course marshals, anybody who's out there giving direction needs to understand where to give you direction, so you're not being turned around at the wrong place, and just making sure that everybody's safe out there. You'll see lead bikes Those are also volunteers and people who really need to know the course inside out, know where exactly they're supposed to be turning you around and staying ahead of the lead runners, so they have an opportunity to get their best times and their their best finish. Who else is out there? And then you've got everybody who's out there, with the cones, the signs, everything that's happening out there happens out there before the race even gets started. And it has to be set up properly before we can let the race go. So really important to have volunteers ready to do that. Then after the race,
And then all that stuff you see and get excited about when you arrive on race morning and when you're out there during your race, the water stations, the marshals, all the signs, the cones, everything that's out there needs to disappear within a couple hours after the race is over. So site cleanup, making it look like none of us were there, making sure all the garbage is off the course, making sure all the signs are packed up, all the aid stations are packed up, and not only packed up and packed in the trailers, ready to leave De La Salle Park in this case. We need help with that. We need a team of committed volunteers that can hang out for a couple of hours once the event is over at about 1:00 to tear everything down. It's a long day for all of us, especially for Sandy and I and our close friends and family. We really, really appreciate the help that comes from you guys as volunteers in that site cleanup to make sure that the day gets closed off in a good way.
Yeah. And we also forgot about the finish line too. I mean, the finish line, having enough people to sort out the medals, get them out there and get them ready to give you your bagel, to cut the bagels in half has to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Getting the bananas, the Gatorade and the water too afterwards. And, helping out all the people who are there on site in terms the sponsors and the vendors who are there, helping them get set up and understand what's going on. A lot goes on.
There's a lot of moving parts putting a race like this on. And we need all of you and your family and friends to help make it a success. So if you are coming up with somebody else you might not be racing, or maybe you raced with us in the past and you're not able to race this year but want to take part in some way, shape, or form, we would love to have your support in the form of being a volunteer. One of the bonuses of coming up with a volunteer is there's a volunteer parking lot right beside De La Salle Park. So you'll get your own kind of VIP parking without having had to purchase it. But if you or someone would like to volunteer, we'd love to have you, in which case we'll need you to go to the Georgina Spring Fling race roster page, and you can click volunteer near the top left. That'll take you to the registration page. It's important that you do that rather than just tell Sandy or I, hey, I plan on being up there, because having you registered on race roster will ensure that you get the right communication, that you get placed in the spot that you want, that everything that's going to go on race day, and we're ready for you and you're ready for us and what we need your help with on that race day. So we'd love if you can do that. If you're watching and you plan to race with us, but you haven't signed up yet, hurry up and do that as well, because the races are filling up quick and we expect that we'll have all 4 distances sell out at some point between now and race day. So we look forward to seeing you in Georgina on Sunday, May 5th, if not before, whether you're running with us or whether you're volunteering with us.